2, 3, 4.
Started talking about Porcupine. I love that as a title, and you know, just the way you say it, Porcupine. Because I always just kind of said Porcupine. I never thought about it.
Porcupine's kind of the southern
Yeah,
way to say it.
Porcupine, like Porky.
Yeah, but I don't know. I went up to Alaska and I saw a couple up there. I saw somebody's
Really?
hat. It was somebody's hat in a bar, and it had like a ton of quills in it. And
Really?
then, like right around that same
Wow.
time, my friend's dog ran into a porcupine and like tried. You know, when a dog attacks a porcupine, it gets a mouthful of quills and they can die that way. It was all right, but basically just the whole, I guess, idea or symbolic idea of the porcupine.
Yeah.
Came into play.
It's a good one.
And then I just kind of like the world is a porcupine, basically somehow.
Yeah.
Or this sinful living's a porcupine, or whatever I was trying to say there. I would just say that it just came out of the blue.
To live in sin, all this sinful living's a porcupine. It's a porcupine. To live in sin, all this sinful living's a porcupine. It's a porcupine.
Yeah, on the song "Stormy,"
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tribute. I'm gonna have to give Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee like a little, basically a tribute in there because I used to, I was a street musician for a long time. That's when I went overseas, I had to play on the streets because that's where I had to learn to perform, basically.
That's the best place to learn. I did that too.
Yeah,
for a while.
I was singing songs by those guys and Muddy Waters and Bob Dylan and Woody Guthrie and a lot of Sonny Terry, Brownie McGee. There was something about those two guys' songs that just, that's what I gravitated to.
I got a tight brown leather jacket, 2 right pockets with a buckle strap neck, Turkish gold and old sunglasses.
Burgundy Red. I'm just curious about that song. What's the deal with that? The title is real intriguing to me. You know, it's kind of dark sounding.
Well, basically, it's about a one-night stand, and the woman wakes up, and the sheets are stained burgundy red. I mean, it's not blood so much. Is that they went out and threw down.
A wine.
They threw down with some wine.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
if you fall asleep.
But it's kind of
Haven't you ever fallen asleep? If you fall asleep with a wine glass in your hand, and your sheets, you're gonna stain your sheets burgundy red. That's all it means. And I knew that.
Okay.
I also, when I was done with it, I thought, oh, that could be blood or something. But that's not.
But
what it is.
could be an interesting sort of.
Yeah, I mean, when you wake up in the morning and you would see the sheets that color, that would be alarming. Right? You'd be like, whoa, what happened? And you're like, oh, just drinking wine. But it didn't get all that in there. It's basically, it's a rock and roll song with some cassettes and some boom boxes and some burgundy red. It's just an old party from memory or something.
Woke up this morning with an old song in your head, a spilled wine glass and a stranger in your bed, where the boots were on and the sheets were burgundy red.
I was thinking of the song "Young Girls." Talk about that one a little bit. I like that one.
That one, I totally.
I like the young girls. I just like that phrase. You know, that kind of that image. Is cool.
I have to say that Raymond Carver totally. I kind of purloined that from him a little bit. There's a couple poems of his. There's a book of poetry of his that not many people know about. They know him as the short story man. And there's a very short poem of his, I think it's called "The Young Girls Are Young Girls," and it's basically that same idea of, kind of chastising the older man, or something about his, his opinions and views and stuff like that. And I basically just wrote a blues about it,
Good love, forgetting you, the young girl. A good love, forgetting the young girl.
Got's one of the louder, more rocking tunes on the record, and there was a writer in Kentucky who told me about a game that he and his brother used to play, and it was a game called Get What I Got, and that was all that it took for me to write the whole song and make up the whole song from that point of view. So I don't know if the song has anything to do with what this game was that this guy played with his brother, but I just took the phrase "Get What I Got" and decided, I'm gonna write a song about it.
You push and you pull, but your wheels will not roll. You borrow and you steal, but you still cannot be. Get what I got. Get what I got.
The song "Northbound" on this record is.
That's the one that I was going to say. I'm really intrigued by that because I love that song because everybody writes about going, you know, there's this whole kind of, you know, romanticism about the South, of course, you know.
Yeah.
And nobody ever writes about the North. It's not, the North has never been perceived as being a romantic place, you know. Nobody goes, hey, I'm going to go north, you know. It's
going up to Fargo.
Yeah, right. You know, it's always, I'm going down to Mississippi or whatever, you know, the whole like Delta blues, Southern thing. And you got this song about I'm northbound. I love that. You know, it's just, wow, for a change, you know, it catches your attention because it's it's not what you would expect, you know, like it's.
I knew what I was doing. I have to say I took this song, not the Allman Brothers song, but the Doc Watson, Merle Watson song called Southbound.
That's right.
Which I've sang as a street musician loads of times.
Right.
And I basically said I want to write this, you know, he's singing about being stuck in New York City and he longs for the South.
Wants to go back to the South.
South.
How many songs have you heard about that though? You know,
exactly.
Over and over and over again. You know, like, and all of a sudden, I'm northbound. I want to go to.
There's a lot of money tied up in this town. There's plenty more people with their knees on the ground. I can't help but wonder when the whole thing's gonna burn down.
Yeah, this record had to be rocking for me because I basically, I wasn't tired. I'm not tired of going around traveling by myself. I'll do that anytime, and I do it a lot. But when I wrote the songs, I just knew that I wanted to have a band.
But it's fun to play with a band.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
It's fun to make people shake their asses.
It's really fun. I know. I do love it. You know, absolutely. Yeah.
So most of the new record is loud and rocking with the band, but there's a few songs that are not. But there's quite a few of them that, even though they're loud, they come from that same old place of like Sonny Terry Brown and McGee stuff.